Thanks for hanging out. You're noticing the Josh. Oh, and I like the new name, Dory. Sola Seller. I love it. I love it with the Florida Lee logo on there. But yes, guys, Jake was just in a tough accident, everyone, and it's affected his internet usage. He was being seen by Kat, the nurse Flipper. She was trying to take care of him. The accident looked crazy, guys. If you saw it on Instagram, I think he's going to be okay. If he can get his computer reloaded fast enough, he will join us. You will get the Josh and Jake experience. I think he's getting CPR now. Hold on. Are you breathing, Jake?
I made it.
Did Kat give you CPR? Are you better?
I made
it. Can you breathe?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm like sitting there in the after show. I'm like, holy smokes, I have literally nothing. I can't even go pee.
No, you're good. No, I was just updating everybody because we got a very cool guest coming tonight, and
yes, we do.
Guys, if you just came from Cats, awesome. Thank you so much. I see Jimmy in there, who has lost the Uncle B. But
legit, really nice.
That's what I said. Dory's got something new. What's up?
Everybody's changing up on me here.
Yeah, Cat
Kidnap. Know what I'm looking at.
What's up, Marrakech? But Jake, you were in a little fender bender. You were okay.
A little bit.
Then you, of course, filmed another car on fire.
Oh yeah, that was cool. No, you guys have to check my Instagram. That was cool. Here.
But everybody, here he is.
Car on fire.
He makes more people think that that's the car he hit. That's what he does, everybody.
That'll be awesome. That's.
Hey, what's up? Right. What's up?
Let's get started.
What's up, Ken? What's up? More income. So yeah, we have a very good guest joining us today. Like, this is somebody, and he's been doing quite a bit of lives as well. You may have seen him. Really cool concept. A listing live on his channel, and then they did a quick turnaround. He was with Joey and then jumped on Joey's channel and did another, I think, 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours of listing, nonstop. And it was pretty cool. And guys, if you were watching that, you saw the sweet hat that he has coming his way. I'm telling you, he's got some really good stuff, and the hat's going to fit because it goes with the name. Everybody in the chat, give it up for Troy, Mountain Man Treasure.
Hey guys, what's going on?
What's up, man? Thanks so much for joining,
Troy.
Yeah, thanks for having me in.
Dude, I really appreciate it, and we love connecting with everybody all over the place. And you're probably used to this, but you'll see with us being a later show, the West Coast crowd just starts to pour in, man. Right. They just do. They really do. I don't get a lot of the East Coast people, so.
Although we are Coast people.
I got Jake.
Yeah, Jake doesn't sleep. Jake just doesn't sleep.
See the bags? You saw that? You saw the car accident today?
I know, that's wild.
I was eating dinner when I saw that, Jake. I was like, what is going on? I was eating dinner. But no, Troy, man, thanks so much. Quickly for people, if there are people in the chat that, they've seen the name, they've seen the beard, tell them a little bit about who Mountain Man Treasure is, where you're from, what you like to source, how long you been doing this?
Well, we'll start there at the end. I've been doing this almost 2 years now. We started in mid-January of 2019 is actually when I started reselling. And the whole idea at that point was I had a friend that did this full time, still does this full time. He's been doing it for 10 plus years. He sells on platforms I've never heard of before. He names them all off, and I'm like, what is that? And so I said, hey, look, can you teach me how to do this? You do it full time. Can you teach me? I want to be able to breathe better at the end of the month, right?
Yeah.
So you're not going, okay, I need gas. How much can I put in? Will that get me to tomorrow?
That's good.
I got sick and tired of doing that. And I thought, you know what, this is a way, if we could sell a couple things a month, that's all we have to do. Sell one thing a week and we can go out to the movies or we can, whatever.
Right.
And in 11 months, we did a gross of like $40,000 or something that first year.
Nice.
And I realized, you know what, this is more than that. Like, I guess I'm okay at this. And so right now we're up to like 42 in the last 12 months. It's doing better. It's going to be a record year. This fourth quarter is going to be crazy. And then I'm coming up on a year of doing YouTube. I figured, you know what, I learned so much off of watching videos of what sold.
Right.
That's where I learned how to do. Between that and having that in person, you know, having Jeff here saying, hey, I found this, what do you think? That combination, like, we've paid off last year. Mostly what we've been using this for is for debt, for school loans, for medical bills, stuff like that. We cut off 5 years of payment plans last year.
I love that, man.
Like, it's unreal. And we do like the Dave Ramsey, like the snowball thing. And so being able, like our snowball, it was like, okay, let's add $20 to this bill.
Right.
It was going to take forever. And so doing this, it's been phenomenal. So I thought, you know what, I want to help other people do what I've been able to do. And so that's why I started doing the YouTube, trying to provide that personal, like, here's what I learned. These are the videos that I learned from, and I'm trying to give that back. So it's been going really, really well. I can't believe we're past 1,700 subscribers now.
Yeah. You've pumped out like over 340 videos in a year, man.
Yeah, I don't know how many I've got. I haven't.
No, that's crushing it, dude. That's almost a video a day. Like that.
I went for a month with like a video a day, and I realized I can't do that. Like,
editing, by the way, you do edit.
I do a little bit. Like, I mean, it's basic. Like, I'm not like flashy. I just want to do things where it's like it's clean, or as clean as I can make it, and there's information there. You know, I mean, I figure you look at Kat's what sold videos, you look at Matt at Part-Time Picker, they're just standing there saying, this is what I sold, and this is what I sold it for. That, you know, I can do that.
You don't have to overcomplicate the system. It's consistency, not always how well you do your edits. How well you do your edits attract an audience of creators. It just does, because they're the people that work on that stuff. When you're just consistent to resellers that are with a notebook and going, sweet, I would have never looked at that, but now I will because Troy picked it up. You know,
you get those messages and it's unbelievable. Like, I got a message, I put it on my last video. This guy says, we've been doing this for like 20 years off and on.
Yep. And it was the underwear. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like, we saw you buy that underwear from the grandma. We thought it was hilarious. 3 weeks later, we're at a garage sale and we saw vintage old underwear from the 80s, bought it, and sold $70 full price of $70.
I'm telling you, man.
Like, they would have never bought that if I wouldn't have put that on my video. I wouldn't have bought it and put it on my video if I wouldn't have seen Matt at Part-Time Pickers selling used underwear.
Yeah.
Or not used underwear, old underwear. Don't sell the used underwear.
No. Do you know how many diapers I've looked for like vintage dates on?
Right.
Just from when he sold the Winnie the Pooh diapers, I was just like, how old are these? But Jake can tell you, man, you've already said something that is so key to what we do in this channel. You know, I know you have a family. Jake has a family. So do I. You went into this with goals, man. I love that. I love that. And I tell people all the time, we encourage in our chat. We're like, I don't care if it is just to pay for dinner and a movie once a month. If that's what you want to tackle it. Just don't go into it blind, because you'll either get bored, distracted, you'll find something else. And everybody says, well, it's just a hobby. And I'm like, cool, make it a fun hobby. What's the fun goal for doing the hobby? You know, goals are just so vital, man. And I think if you can jot them down and have a target to reach for, dude, that's so vital, man. And that's why I love that you said that. And you discovered what it is that triggers everybody. We're not short of any people buying stuff online. If we can feed it to them, they're buying it. They're buying it.
Like, anything sells. There's a buyer for almost everything.
So, all right, Mountain Man, where did the name Mountain Man Treasure come from? I know you're probably finding stuff, you're thrifting there, but what does it mean to source in your area?
Well, we're a little bit rural, right? Like, it's Montana.
Yeah.
I mean, for Montana, it's not that much. We're in the state capital, but in our county, like Yakov is going to go like, I have that many people in my apartment complex. So we have like 45,000 people in the county. Like in town, it's like 30,000 people. So it's a pretty small town.
And you still have that many yard sales.
Well, I mean, I'm pretty jealous when I look and like people post like, here's yard sale treasure map for the weekend. And it just looks like some kid broke out in chicken pox. Like, I'm like, I got 8. Like,
Oh yeah, no, I'm there with you, man. I get 3, and I have to drive 25 minutes to them.
yeah. And that's 8 like total. That's not like 8 good ones. That's
Yeah.
like, here's what you got. Now, not all of them end up on yard sale treasure map, and we do, you end up with more. But I mean, it's a busy weekend if I can find double digits. Like if I can find 10 or 12 that are worth stopping at, that's a really long, busy weekend. I mean, it's a little bit tougher. And I do this part-time, right? So I have to find a way to work that in because we're done. Like garage sale season, I'm pretty sure it's done. Like this last weekend, we hit 2 and they were pretty sad. The weather has changed and it's like a valve. It just shuts off. So I think that's it for garage sale. So you got to get them when they're going. And then I have to live off of this for the next, 8 months. I can go to thrift stores, but being part-time, I'm not there in the morning when all the new stuff is out. And even in a small town like this, there's a lot of resellers here.
Yeah.
And they live at the thrift store. I see the same guys. I've got a friend, Mark. He shows up in my chat a lot. He's here in town. I'll go to Goodwill. He'll tell me, oh yeah, I've been here 3 times today already. I'm going to go check out the other one. Then I'll come back. Like, cause that's what he does.
Yeah.
So we're bouncing back between the stores, waiting for the new racks to come out.
Waiting for the racks. Yeah.
They full timers?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Jakob. They know what time the racks are coming out. They know what time to go for the restock. Now you want to see the biggest liar right here. This is Jimmy going, yeah. He doesn't get a lot of yard sales. He has like 30 that are at the end of his driveway. Like, bring it to his street.
That's where he makes his living off.
But I think that's what's helped me with the YouTube because I'm not at the thrift stores right away when the obvious stuff comes out, right?
Yep.
Like I don't find every once in a while if you just luck into it, but by and large, I don't. Like Mark sent me a photo today. He goes, look what I found, Patagonia, and this pile of like high-end belts that are probably $25, $30 belts minimum.
Yeah.
But that was probably his 4th trip into the store. I'm not going to find that. So I think that's why people like my videos because I have to go in and find the stuff that people look past.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'll get the things every now and then, but I find like the weird things that people don't realize are worth money. And Mark gives me a hard time. He's like, you got the Midas touch. I'm like, well, man, you go and pull out a cart full of Carhartt and North Face. So I have to find the other random stuff. So I think that helps everybody. Everybody's got that random stuff.
Right.
Oh, and it's more interesting. Like I have more fun digging, finding the weird things.
And your name has been resounding in so many chats about what you just said. Because I think you highlighted a big key. They were like, it was somebody else asking in a chat, and they were like, all right, I think it was Emily Conway. Name the 5 weirdest things you've sourced. And she goes, no, you need to go talk to Troy about that. Because
I did a video with her about weird things that sell on eBay. We did a whole video.
Right. And I've seen you pick up stuff, man. But I think you hit it on the head because I experienced this a couple videos ago. I had to run out, do an errand, got this whole truck thing, which that's been an amazing journey. But I got back to the yard sales. They were closing down at 12 and I got there at 11:30.
Mm-hmm.
And I was kind of doing this like, you want to kick the bucket a little bit and be like, well, I missed all the good stuff. Well, I learned that I took more time. There were less people to deal with. I had more time and I started looking up products. And I find $500 worth of these little vintage houses sitting on a table that people had passed by for the last 3.5 hours. Yeah. And I paid $15 for them, And you're like, wow, maybe there's a method to the madness there. Yeah,
you look up like I spend hours sometimes in thrift stores. If I have that time, it's like
doing the research.
Today is a research day, and just hey, I've never seen that before. Let's look it up.
That's so good,
and it's ridiculous what you find.
Troy, how does your schedule work? I know you are part-time.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You shoot out a lot of videos. How are you doing it?
It's busy. It gets a little bit like it's a little bit streamlined now. Like you get once you do it for a while, you figure out there's a pattern, right? And like I put together a what sold video tonight. It actually finished uploading like 45 minutes ago for a premiere in the morning.
Right.
I can do those relatively quickly now, and I think those are the most effective teaching tools. Is those what solds.
Yep.
And so I'm trying to do more of those now. I was doing 2. I'm doing 3 a week now. So they're a little shorter. They're easier, more digestible, I guess. A half hour what sold is a long video. So
yeah,
I'm doing 3 of them now. I can do those quicker. The garage sale videos take longer to put together.
Yeah.
But
just splicing the footage. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's harder to shoot. I've been shooting on my phone all summer. Because I was using the GoPro and the audio was muddy, just the way I had it. I thought, you know what? I'm just going to use my phone. It's actually quicker to edit the videos that way because I can just airdrop it to my computer and they're already set up almost in video clips. So I don't have to wait for the GoPro to download. And so I found like little tricks that I'm able to speed things up, but it's busy. I get up, my alarm goes off at like 3:30 in the morning. I'm up by about 4. And at work by 5. I work until it depends on what's going on that day. I'm a news director at the radio station. And so I co-host a morning show and then I host an interview show. And then work on the web and stuff like that.
I gotta find your show online. I have to hear how you do it. It's very intriguing.
I know Joey said the same thing last night. He's like, you got to send me the link. I'm like, man, it's like Montana news, but okay.
Okay, you got it. Let's do it.
So it's at kcap.com. So you can go and you can listen live at kcap.com. And I actually have all of my interview shows are podcast form on there. So you can listen to the interview shows. And those are usually we're talking with, like today I talked with a guy that's running for county commission, and I talked with folks that run like one of those hands-on kids museums here in town.
Nice.
Like, hey, how do you do that in COVID? And they're like, yeah, we don't. Like, they haven't been open for 7 months.
Yeah, they're like,
figure out like how can you do. So it's people that are like tomorrow. I'm talking with the guy that's running for Montana Attorney General. I've had
break weekdays from 8:30 to 9 a.m. with Troy. Okay.
Look at you. You're like live fact checking me.
You're fact checking. I want to check this out.
If we had Dan the Answer Man, he would have had the link up.
I know.
How many videos are up? And if I say his name 3 times, it'll call him into the chat. It just will. But dude, no, and I love that, man, because the first couple times I think I heard you in a live and you were chatting with some other people. It was a couple months back. And I was like, okay, like who's this dude? I think it was like you were turning just over into 1,000 subs. I think you were flipping over that number, and it was your voice, and everybody's like, "Yep, he's got that voice. He's got that voice." And I think you told people, you were like, "Oh yeah, well I have that voice because I do radio." Yeah. And everybody was like, "Huh?" Well, they were trying to predict that you're built for radio, and it was like, "Oh my god!" I get
a comment at least once a week from a new subscriber, like, "You sound like you should be on the radio." I'm like, well. Yeah.
What time are you up? You're doing an 8:30 show.
I know.
So like you're up at like what, 5?
I'm up. The alarm goes off at 3:30. I get up at 4:15. I'm to work at 5. And then I'm there until about lunchtime. And then that's when I come home and pack or go to Goodwill or, whatever.
Yeah, you're off at lunchtime at that point.
I usually come home and do like, I'll have lunch when I get off. So it's like, 1 o'clock or whatever.
Okay.
That gets me out. If I take a lunch hour, then then I'm out at 2. So if I eat when I'm done, then I have more time to thrift.
Yaakov complains about getting up at 8:30.
I know.
I'm still like,
I have to go to work with headlights on, Yaakov. It's dark.
Damn.
Yeah. When you do radio, man, you don't understand those guys. Like you guys are pretty much prepped and ready to roll. What, 6 a.m.?
Oh yeah, the show kicks off at 6.
Yeah. Like you have to hit fire.
I have to write the whole news script. I have to script out the show. So the sun comes up about halfway through my show.
I am legit gonna put you guys on my radio now, on my alarm clock. You're Troy in the morning.
Well, if it's 6 there, it'll be 8 here, Yaakov. You might not be awake yet. You'll still be laying in bed.
Be groggy.
Wait, how much of a time difference are we at?
2 hours.
2 hours.
2 hours. So what is it, like 8 o'clock by you now?
Yeah, it's 8:15, 20 after 8.
Oh wow, that early?
It's early, but you know what? It's weird because I actually spent the majority of my professional career. I was in newspapers. Like I started my first job was at a radio station in high school as a sophomore. I never did like the McDonald's. I never did like I started working at a radio station in high school, and then I did it in college as well, and then got into newspapers when I was in college because that's when all the radio stations were like everything was shrinking, and you could all of a sudden one guy could use a computer and run 3 stations out of a room. And so there weren't jobs. And so I went into newspaper because there were jobs at that time. And I started answering calls. This was in Texas. I started answering like the phone basically when the football coaches would call in with their football scores. You know, I was the kid taking all the stats off the phone, and I moved up to assistant sports editor there. Went and I was a sports editor in a little town called McMinnville in Oregon. It's south of Portland.
Oh, nice.
Beautiful little town, like wine country, really, really cool. Worked there for a couple of years and then came home to Montana doing sports. So I did sports for the better part of 20 years in newspapers. And then it got to the point where, I mean, newspapers, it was a toxic environment. Like I was working 6 days a week, 10 hours a day. You know, because it was the more with less, you know. Yeah. So I was at one point, I was writing my stories, taking the photos and laying out the section, editing everything. Like I was doing everything for about 10 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I can't, like, I'm miserable at home. Like, I didn't realize it, but I was probably pretty terrible to be around because I was stressed out. I thought, you know what? I need to do something else. And so I've been doing radio again for the last about 3 years now.
Nice. Marie says she knows. She's been there a few times. She knows where that town is in Oregon.
McMinnville, it's beautiful. It's actually people travel to McMinnville from around the world. Like the wine is good enough that they like every year basically it's people fly in from Europe and this is a little itty bitty town, but it's also the site of I think it's the second largest like UFO festival in the world next to Roswell. Yeah. One of the most famous UFO photos. It was in Time magazine, back like black and white photo of a UFO right outside of McMinnville. And so they do this big parade every year. It's pretty fun, actually.
Have they had another sighting yet recently?
I don't think so.
Jakob's trying to go.
I know.
I do want to shout out. This is Kaiser, Reseller on the road. I got a chance to have lunch with him yesterday.
Nice.
He is on day 16. He's 21 years old, and he just travels and sources and ships stuff out wherever he is. He's been here in Virginia where I am for the last 4 days. He'll probably correct me. And, like, he came through. He went in my own backyard and sourced a couple $100 worth of stuff. He was just like, hey, man, you should go check this place out. I just pulled a couple $200-300 items.
You're like,
but he's killing it. He really is. And I kept telling him, he's putting out content. He's doing daily videos. What he's doing. He is setting himself up. Okay, 21 years old. He's going to buy a house with cash next year. That's how well he's doing on the road. Like, and I love the concept of that. He doesn't have kids. And, you know, we have families and stuff. I was like, live your dream. Because one day you're going to feel like a vacation is the greatest thing in the world. I was like,
if you can start this thing.
Vacations for us aren't vacations. Get that straight. Right. When you have a family and you take the kids and you take the wife and you take everybody on a vacation, it's sort of a vacation.
No. It's a vacation. Jakob, I'm giving you the vacation. He hasn't been home in 15 days. And as his comment was, I just rode the one wheel around downtown. And he went rock climbing yesterday. And he's going to go eat wherever he wants to. I said, where are you going? He says, maybe DC, maybe Ohio.
Yeah, but you can't do that on a regular vacation with your family. That doesn't work that way.
That's why I told him, Jakob, enjoy it while he can.
Agreed.
But no, man, I love the fact that, like, you've said it, the stuff you found, believe it or not, I'm in a town about the same size of where you're at. We're at about 37,000. So same issues, same yard sale issues. But you found a way to find what's good for your area. You found a way to find some stuff that people are donating, that they're dropping off. Yakov's had the same thing. He's like, you don't know what's overpriced, but then Yakov finds these high dollar masks for nothing. You know,
Ooh, are we up to that? Did we get up to that?
well, no. It's just when everybody's in this chat, and this is what I love people doing. I think you hit it on the head. I've started doing them again a little more. I'm part-time as well. I was filming all of my videos on the weekends, and they were mostly source videos. Well, guess what I can do? More what sold. Sitting in the house, going over product, especially when you have a lot of sales, you have a lot of diverse things to talk about.
Yeah.
Which is good. And I think what it also tells people.
And I went and dropped off my mail. And I was telling you before the show started, I've sold like 8 things in the last 3 hours after I finished that video. Like all of a sudden, like my wife's like, what's going on? Did one person come in? Because she was getting all these notifications because they were coming in back to back to back. And it's almost like one person, and they're all different sales.
Right.
Of all random, completely different things. Like, and so all of a sudden I've already got enough stuff to talk about on Friday of, hey, look what else I sold, because it's from prescription bifocals to Ralph Lauren pajamas to I found the Chronicles of Narnia. They put all 7 books in one book.
Oh, nice.
For like $50. I just bought that for $5 last week. Well, I wouldn't look at that normally. But I thought, you know what? That looks different. I'm going to check it out. And turns out the sell-through is crazy, and it sold. I listed it on Sunday, and it's already sold.
And that's the thing. Like what you're finding in Montana, what Jimmy's finding in Colorado, what Yakov's finding in New York, what Harry Tornado. You know, when you look around and you're like, who all went? I mean, and you might have the best luck. You're closer to the West Coast. But when what was it? Matt started showing off those blankets. And and everybody is like hunting down their thrift store looking for those blankets. And I was like, I don't think they've hit the East Coast, everyone. I think
I've never seen them. Like I've seen them before, I've never found them thrifting.
Yeah, but it's such good knowledge. It's so good that it teaches you something else, another item to look for. You know, I can't like. That's what I love checking out everybody's what sold, because it does show me. You'd be finding these one type of shoes or this brand, and you're like, oh, these pop up every single day. And I'm like, I never see those.
Right.
I can't tell you how many times I heard Troy mention the ghost face masks, especially when he picked up his mask. Okay.
I sold one today. I sold one to the UK today for all in. It was like 64 Great British pounds. I think it's just under $80.
Nice.
One of the crazy masks? The Halloween mask?
It's a T-stamp ghost face mask, just the mask.
Just the
mask.
It's
not super old, but it's a pretty good mask. So all in with shipping, they paid like $80. So I mean, they sell those sell relatively slow, but they sell because there's collectors.
See,
so my other
Kaiser says, yeah, just a few months ago he was thrifting in Montana.
Man, let me know. I'd have gone with you.
He just goes everywhere, man. I couldn't meet up with him. I had to take a lunch break just to grab lunch with him. But like, you know, I just love that journey. He's documenting it. Super smart. I said, man, if people keep track of you for like a year's time, just to see like at 21 years old, he made a goal. He says, I want to pay for my own house. I don't want to go in debt. I want to do this. And he's never worked a 9-to-5 job. He's just been a reseller since he was in high school.
And if you can do that early, like I had
yeah. I was going to talk about that
channel. That kid is unreal. Like I told him after the show, I was like, man, when you own eBay, let me know. Like, give me
right.
But that kid is ridiculously smart and motivated. I mean, he's in 8th grade and he's making hundreds of dollars of sales. Like this weekend, he had a pile of stuff that he was selling, and he's not selling like it's not lemonade stand stuff. I mean, the kid is selling like $100, $200, $250 NASCAR. Like
some of the painter models that they made.
Yeah,
like, this one went for $250. This one went for $300. You're like,
and he just pulled a big door. He had one of Ryan Newman's door panels.
Yeah,
it was all scuffed up from a race. He bought it for $40 and sold it for I think $199 plus shipping.
I'm like, telling you, man.
Like, hey, I want to, you know, I don't know what I want to do yet, but I want to go to college. I'm saving my money, and this is going to pay for my college. I found out from his mom afterwards. He forgot to mention it in the show. He also donates 10% of every sale to Wounded Warriors. Like as a kid, like that's phenomenal. And so I think people like that are starting early, that are doing things like that. I mean, how motivating is that for us to go, well, without it sounding derogatory, if an 8th grader can do it, I can figure this thing out.
That's so good. Somebody had a question, Greg, and talking about the mask. Yeah, he found one last week. Easter Unlimited was on the inner of the mask. It seemed like all the money one, but under the tug and chin. Is their placement worth more than others?
I think the placement changed as it got newer and they started mass producing them. So yeah, typically the more valuable ones are under the chin. And it'll say, like, if you can find Fun World, that's the better ones, the Fun World division, and then it changed to Easter Unlimited. But even basic ones, if you find them at garage sales, they'll sell. Those are going to sell more for like Halloween type stuff. But if you find the older ones, there's collectors, and it's ridiculous how many different versions of them there are. And just like the eyes are shaped slightly different, or it's just like, there's glow in the dark version, there's not glow in the dark, there's different colors that. Yeah. And if you're a real collector, you want every one of them. So there's a market problem.
Jimmy was learning, about hearing everybody else's story. He had gotten one for free, and it had the pink issue to the face. He said he sold it for $70, thinking like, cool, free for 70. He said, so he backtracked. He looked at that seller, found that seller on eBay. That guy sold it for $900.
They flipped it. Yeah.
And he was like, well, I got
I'm very tempted to find out how much mine will go for. I know Troy's in the running, but we're
outbid again, Yakov.
You got outbid. We're at 160 now. We're at 160, but you know what? I can tell you we're at 49 watchers, almost at 50 over there.
Yeah, that's gonna be
1,000 views, and we have 5 days left on it, people.
That's gonna run crazy. What's 5 days from now? Saturday, Sunday?
Well, it better be a Sunday because I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's crazy when you put something up for auction that gets like, I put up something during the live with Joey last night.
Yeah.
And in an hour, it had like 2 watchers and 100 views. Let me see where it's at. I haven't actually looked at it today. It's an old Chicago Bulls hat. I actually got a bid on it today. So I do have an opening bid of $49.99 on that thing. It's got 13 watchers and 301 views.
Nice.
In a 24-hour, basically, like I think we're at 26 hours now.
It's crazy.
So it's crazy when you put something up that just picks up that immediate attention.
But how do you know what to pick up? Like, how do you know that like that Chicago's Bull hat is worth? I mean, sometimes there are no comps on these things. I mean, sometimes it's just, you know what? Your guy in the back over there. There's no comp on him.
Huh?
There's no comp on him.
Oh no. And he's going to stay here, but I got him initially thinking I was going to sell him, but then everybody wanted me to keep him as basically like a channel mascot.
So he's a mascot now.
He had to stay. If I sold him though, he would go at least a couple $100.
But how do you know that? How do you get the feel for that?
Because it's the lady that made him was apparently, from talking, it was her niece, I think, that I talked to.
Yeah.
She apparently was in like all of these magazines back in her heyday of like seamstress and puppets and, all that stuff. She was in like actual magazines, and this was like a one-off, one of a kind. And you just look at, it's like anything else that you learn, like you look at the quality. I mean, the guy's got chest hair that was individually glued onto his chest.
Yeah.
All different colors, all different. And my mom actually is a seamstress, and she came to visit. She's like, I want to look at this guy. And she was amazed, like looking at him going, okay, so this is how this lady did this. She sewed this, then she stuffed it. And she was amazed at the work that went into this, because she understands. I just assumed, I recognize there's a lot of work, there's craftsmanship, but somebody in that area was like, oh no, like this, you don't realize, like this is a lot of time and expertise. And I think just like with anything, you get, like if you're looking for, I don't know, like silk scarves or something, you get the feel of, what that feels like. Even if there's not a comp or a brand, you're like, I know the feel of this.
Yeah. It's high end. Somebody is if you found it so rare, there's somebody else that's gonna go, I need it for my collection, I need it for my shelf, I need it. Because
Yeah.
you're exactly right. People are going to find these one-off dolls. They're going to look at that as folk art. They're going to look at that as so many different things. It may be long tail,
Oh, for sure.
but there's people with hundreds, if not thousands of dollars of play money in their pocket looking for stuff for their collection.
Yeah. I think
Especially during the quarantine right now.
you get an eye for quality, and
Yeah.
and you're not always right. I mean, I've whiffed plenty of times thinking, I know this is going to go, and it just sits, right? Like it happens. But as long as your batting average is good, the profit margins in this business are ridiculous. So you're going to make up whatever misses you make, you're going to make up for tomorrow.
And for like what you said, I still remember, I think you used that, you used it for a thumbnail for that video, I believe.
I think so.
Because it was such a unique figure. You've got the value of the fact that I remember that story. I remember the lady talking about it. It is part of your show now.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's so cool. It's become that mascot.
Yeah. That's cool. Like, and I think I get that because like we talked about, I've had to adapt. If I can't go out and find, okay, where's the Patagonia? Where's the Snap-on tools? Where they're gone by the time I get there. So I have to find stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because the other stuff is gone. All the obvious stuff. If I'm going to an estate sale on a Thursday or a Friday, I'm going after I got off of work. It's 1 o'clock. Well, that thing's been open since 9 a.m.
Right.
All of the full timers have been through and cleared that place out. So I have to find the long johns that, the vintage thermal underwear that are sitting on a table nobody's touched. They don't realize they're $25 a piece. And so I scoop those up for $1. And I make I make good money. I don't pick up those home runs. I don't have all of the Pendleton blankets that were sitting there, but I'm making it up on volume. So I
need to ask when are you coming out with your cups? I still never got my cup.
No, I need to do. We're talking about doing mugs or T-shirts is a possibility too. So I have to find out what people want. I've got a guy now. I've got a guy that's going to do the design for me. It's the same guy that does Commonwealth Picker. He connected me with him. His name is. He does this out of his home as like a one-man operation. So I want to help him and support him because I think that's awesome what he's doing. So we're just working on. I was actually emailing him today. We're trying to work out something. So we're gonna do some mugs. We're gonna do some T-shirts. We'll have another fundraiser with them. I'm gonna make them a little bit cheaper this time because Mike can do them for a lot cheaper for me. So we'll see. They're coming, Yakov. They're coming.
I'm waiting because I was supposed to get in that first run.
A couple of questions earlier, and I had to wait for it to come to my head. The blankets that Matt was having, if you do find them, they're large animal prints. They're San Marcos. San Marcos blankets. They're large, almost look like a tougher wool fabric, but they're giant animal print blankets. San Marcos on the tag. I think he was like, even the most boring animals go for $80-$90.
Yeah, I think I had one when I was a kid. Like it looked familiar. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm pretty sure my grandma gave me one. Like we all got one year for Christmas.
Right.
So I'll have to look. It's like up in the closet. I bet that's what it is. I mean, I'm not selling it, but it has made me look though. And I just sold a Harley blanket yesterday. I wouldn't have put the blankets other than now I at least take a cursory glance at the blanket. Yeah. And initially I thought it was a Cincinnati Bengals blanket because it was orange and black. And I thought, oh, Bengals, look at it. And then it turns out it's got the bar, it's got the Harley emblem. I mean, I turned $6 into $26 in 3-4
days.
That'll
pay for gas and lunch.
Yeah. But I would have never even looked at the blankets if not for Matt. So I didn't find that particular blanket, but it opened my eyes to another area. And, I think you can take knowledge, because his thrift store is ridiculous. Like, I don't understand the level of stuff that comes into that guy's thrift store. Nobody does that anywhere. But you can still take that and adapt it to where you're at and still find some stuff.
That's so good. Well, I did preempt you a little bit.
Hey,
I don't know where Jake went. I think Jake went to finally breathe in between lives. Guys, because I don't tell them all the secrets of what we're going to talk about. I give them a little bit of, head knowledge to wrap their head around it. So I want you to keep your death pile in mind. We all have them. Some are adding the quarantine weight. Some are losing the quarantine weight. Either people have been lifting heavy or they've been getting more stuff. I've been getting more stuff. But I was going off your name, and I was like, Mountain Man Treasures. Okay. I want to test his skills or lack of, because it's going to be funny the way, and say, okay, you have to go survive in the mountains in Montana. But you can only grab 5 items from your death pile to take with you to survive.
Wow.
What would those 5 items be?
God, the problem is I've got a death fort, man. I've got like 12 of those black and yellow like totes from Costco of stuff. Because we actually organized them, so I didn't have a pile and made me just feel like I was in hoarders. At least like an organized mess back there. Like I can see them through my rack here. I know I've got a vintage ski suit in there.
Okay, that's a good one.
So that, I'd have to grab that. I have the vintage ski suit. Now the colors aren't ideal because I grabbed it because it's ridiculous, like orange and yellow, but that's okay.
You can put a spin on it. You can be like, they can see me better to rescue me.
All right, they'll find me.
They'll find the body. Yeah.
Yeah, I know I've got that vintage ski suit that I'm going to have to dig out because now it's about that time. So there's one. I do have some. What were those? The Ronco knife, or what was the knife? The knife that would cut through, like he'd cut through everything.
Oh yeah,
like the can. He'd cut through.
I know which one you're talking about. Yeah.
He'd like. I have the as seen on TV. Is it the Ginsu knives?
I know the Ginsu did have the advertising for cutting through like everything like butter.
Yeah,
I remember that.
It's one of those as seen on TV sets I got from an estate sale, and it's got like all the different like knives and stuff. They sell really well, actually.
They do. It just, I'm imagining in my head is that it's like still in the plastic, so you're like taking it with plastic, and you're like, if I only had a knife to get the knife out, that'd be great. Okay, so that's 2. That's good.
Isn't a problem.
You got warmth, and you have a weapon.
That's what it is. It's the Ginsu knives.
Yeah, Ginsu.
So I've got my knives and I've got my my ski suit. I've got a fly rod that I've not done anything with, so I could eat.
See? All right, now he can eat. All right, so now let's think of an entertainment. What's your entertainment in the wilderness in Montana?
I know, right? I mean, I've got plenty of media, but golly. I mean, I've got, if I'm okay, I mean, I guess if I'm out there long enough, I'm going to be going a little bit nuts. I have a old Dungeons and Dragons game.
There we go.
There's enough creativity, and it's like a board game. It's made by the same people that made Dungeons and Dragons. I think it's called Dungeon, and it has the same look, and so that's why I picked it up. I guess I could play that, right?
Did you ever watch the show Last Man on Earth?
No.
Okay.
I know what it is. Like I've heard of it.
Where he goes insane and he just draws faces on all these balls. It kind of is a play off of Castaway.
Right.
I see you playing Dungeons and Dragons with like pine cones and tree branches as the other people.
I've got a Dark Tower behind me that's still sitting in my death pile because I don't want to sell it. So like it's not in the death pile. It's just on. I just don't want to sell it.
All right. The last item is going to be an easy one because you could pick a piece of clothing that doesn't matter to you. What's going to be your teepee? What's going to be your toilet paper that you don't mind sacrificing?
I think I've got some Detroit Red Wings shirts that I've not done anything with. So I'd bring those.
It's like, thanks, but no thanks, Red Wings. Thanks, Detroit. You're going to well played, sir. Well played. That was good. You thought of some good stuff. You weren't like.
I mean, I've got a lot to choose from. So.
I know everybody's like, make Jakob do it. Jakob's going to just take VCRs and VHS tapes, and he's going to try to get them to work.
I've got 3.
I plead the 5th
combos that I've got to do something with.
Oh, me too. Me too.
I've got 2 of those big Sony, like the CD, like the changers. One's like a 200, and I think one's a 300. They're worth good money, but I haven't wanted to test them. Like
I'm the same. I'm the same with you. I even went to another thrift store because some of mine were missing the remote and the cables. So then I was able to find remotes and cables, and guess what? I'm like, cool, and I put it with it, and then I was like, all right.
I've got 2 of them right there in a box. I haven't done anything with it.
One,
Annie was
two,
smart when it comes to women. Good job, Annie.
5, 6, about 7. 2 that need to be tested.
Dante said Red Wings gear is perfect for crapping on.
Yeah, Dante, you got it, man.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, there's Jakob fighting bears with
car,
BC.
my first car had the license plate. Red Wings suck is the personalized plate. So
Nice.
yeah.
Nice. And be sure, everybody, if you are new to this, if you're joining in, please let me know in the chat. If not, in the description, you can sub to Troy here. You can also sub to Yakov. Yakov's been growing quite as well. Links are in the description. Please, please, please check them out anytime. But yeah, man. And but to ask a little bit deeper, do you have that mountain man? The beard does fit it. But do you have that like nature Bear Grylls, get out there and do stuff? Or are you just kind of like, nah, I steer away?
I mean, I'm comfortable in the living room, but but no, I don't mind. Like I could go and live in a cabin out in the woods and be just fine. Like I don't need like the socially distant thing. Like I'm good with that.
That's cool.
I mean, everybody's struggling with this. I'm like, I'm
just stay away from me.
I don't mind it. I mean, Montanans, as a whole, I think the mentality of Montanans have been socially distancing since like 1896. Like, I mean, it's not been an issue here. We're okay with that. And I fit that like I'm okay hanging out. I mean, it makes sourcing tougher, but
yeah,
But
no, I like that. That's a good thing. You could say, quarantine 2020 doesn't affect anybody in 2 areas: Montana or homeschool kids.
Yeah.
I saw a funny comedian talk about that. They were like, homeschool kids. They were like, we've had to sit in silence and do arts and crafts ourselves the whole time. We had to get creative on everything. They're like, what do you mean not talk to other people? I'm like, they're thriving right now. But
everybody's a homeschool kid now.
Exactly. That's what I said. I was like, homeschool kids have the advantage now.
Yeah.
I love it, man. They're going to be starting their own companies. They're going to be like, you new kids into the homeschool realm, come work for us.
I think the biggest challenge I have with all this is the fact that now I leave to work at 12 because I have to run the kids' schooling in the morning while my wife is teaching. So I'm up at whatever normal time everybody thinks I'm up at. And then I have to head with the kids. So I'm jumping up and down, up the stairs and down the stairs to make sure that each one is on thing. And then, then I leave to work late, and then I get home late, and then I am on live late, and then I get to listing once upon a time. And that's it.
That's what's hard when you have so much stuff. Like, and when you add YouTube in, you're taking away listing time. So it really becomes a balance. Like, because I don't think people realize how much time YouTube takes. Yeah. They're like, oh, it was a 12-minute video. Like, no, you have no idea, like, what goes into videos, especially for people. Like, for me, I try to streamline it. But, like, Jake, I mean, yours is, like, Hollywood production level. So
I also need to gain subscribers. I mean, I'm still working at it. I'm only at 220, which is, I found out recently, 220, very interestingly. But I also have to be on the lives. I have to be on Josh's live. I have to be on, like, Kat's live because I got to get subscribers somehow. So I got to show myself some other places that people.
That's a great way to do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The collaborations will take you to a certain level, but I still stand by because I love editing videos, but consistency has been so key because I'm now to the point where just watching other videos, even on my own channel, that I've been like, those did pretty good. Why didn't I do more of those?
Yeah.
And then when I do, I'm like, sweet. No promotion, no Instagram, no promoting it at all, and it's videos that are surpassing 100 views easily. Because because YouTube algorithm itself likes it. It's like, hey, I was logged into my other email, and I was suggested my other channel's video. It was like, hey, you should check this out. And I was like, it's working. Yay, I'm being suggested now.
Yeah.
So
And that was cool when I started getting like, hey, your channel just popped up and recommended to
yep,
me. I love it. I was like, wow. And I think that it's a bit of a snowball. Like I think the
it
more
is.
subscribers you get, the more YouTube goes, oh, people like this guy, and they start pushing it out more.
So
And so
even if you're a small channel, for example, like me, compared to like an 1,000 subscriber channel, would I still get pushed out anywhere?
I think so. Like, I mean, if people are watching the same, like if you're putting those keywords in and stuff, and people are watching those same keywords, I think
Yeah.
so. I think it just builds on itself. So it's going to happen more often.
I gotta
Yakov,
figure out how.
Yakov, you have to be able to take the perspective outside of your own shoes. I try to tell him all the time, Troy. I was like, Yakov, you were at 100 subscribers and your videos were getting
I
100
know it
views.
was my first live. My first interview was
No
Troy.
one gets that kind of view rate based on sub count.
Right.
If you put stuff out, it could. I told him time and time again. He could sit there and eat a sandwich on video,
What time?
and people
is it?
tune
What
in.
time is it?
I love it, man.
I just sold another random weird thing. So I mean,
No, let's go for it. What did you sell?
then it's international. It's actually going global shipping, which is the weirdest thing.
Yeah, because you actually do quite good with all the multi eBay platforms.
Yeah. CA. Where is CA? What country would CA be?
Canada?
Canada? It must be Canada.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll say California.
When you get the like that reference number from global shipping, they give you like that long digit. The last two letters are the country code that it's going to.
Oh, cool. I
The Thermocube thermostatically controlled outlet.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I just sold. It's been sitting. I bought it at a garage sale last year. I don't even remember how much, like a quarter or something. The box is all beat up. Honestly, I'm not even exactly sure what it does.
Now, how did you just came up with a price, or is that what the trending price was?
Well, I mean, it had a UPC code, so I'm sure at the time I looked up Thermocube thermostat. It says used for automotive applications, including engine and battery heaters. So that's what it is. So yeah, it makes sense going to Canada. So if you're plugging in your car, over the winter to keep your engine block warm, that's what that is. But it's been sitting. I think I know where it is. I've had this thing for almost 2 years now.
Yeah.
Wow.
When you were talking about that, Troy, that's how it was for me last week. I know I was pulling stuff that I listed in my first 2 weeks. And I was going, holy cow. Like, where are they finding this? It hasn't sold in 8 months.
Yeah.
I was thinking, this is a bad buy. Don't buy it again. And then it just sells out of the blue.
It's crazy. Like, it's crazy what people buy. Like that they go on. Somebody went on eBay thinking, I've got to plug my engine block in because it's getting cold. I'm going to go to eBay and find that adapter.
Let me see if they have one.
Yeah. Who looks up that on like? I don't question it anymore though. Like, and my wife used to question, like when I first started, she thought I was crazy. Like the stuff I was bringing home, she's like, "What are you like? If it's closed, it's loud, and it's ugly."
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, "No, you don't understand. The ugly stuff sells. Like that's the good stuff." And now she's turned into, you know what? I don't like it, but somebody will. Like that. That's the standard. And she's like, "Okay, yeah, I get it. What you're doing works." Because initially she thought I was a little bit nuts. Like, you're going to go to Goodwill and garage sales and make money.
Oh.
Like, how does that work? And how is that a long-term, like, yeah, you might find one or two things, but how do you make that last?
I am right there with you. I think your wife and my wife would get along great. Yeah. So my wife also knows that I love working on stuff. I love being innovative with stuff, but she knows I have the squirrel personality.
Right.
So when I told her this and we had hit our first 1,000, and I was like, look, this is doing pretty good. I think it was my goal to hit, you get that first 90-day, alert on eBay. And I wanted to hit $3,000 in the first 90 days. I was like, that's my goal, $1,000 in gross sales a month. And I hit the first 1,000. I was like, okay. And she goes, cool. Let's see if you stick out the 90 days.
Right.
And I was like, challenge accepted.
Right. And I do the same thing. Like I will dive all into something and then something else later will interest me.
Yep.
I'll dive all in. But I think by doing this, if you don't specialize in one area, I think that helps that squirrel mentality, right? Because you can go, "Ooh, look, that's interesting, and I want to sell these for a month."
Yep.
And hey, now I want to do belt buckles. Now I want to do board games. Like you can bounce around and it's okay. And so that's why my store has like 850 things that are like completely different. Like nothing, there's no rhyme or reason to what I'm picking up other than it looks like it'll sell for money. And that's why I pick it up.
I know you just shared this on Joey's channel. I know you have a birthday coming up.
Yeah.
So and not like the big number, but I think you said 42.
Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
so let's put a ballpark of 45 in the next 3 years. Where do you want to see your eBay business go? Do you still want to expand the growth of thrifting at yard sales, stuff like that? Do you want to have like a part-time associate, or do you see yourself going, I built up enough capital and I want to buy one giant wholesale lot of just something that'll regularly sell and I'll still thrift? Where do you have a, let's say, a 3-year plan?
I don't know if I have a plan per se, other than like the goals of, like last year I paid off all my student loans.
Yeah.
So now the goal is, all right, head down, and we're working on paying off my wife's. And I think by the end of the year, we're going to be close.
Nice.
And then it's all right, well, let's pay off some medical bills. So I think that's the carrot in front of me right now is I'm looking at, we look at, okay, what's the next student loan that we can pay off? $600. Oh yeah, we can do that this month. Like, let's knock that one out. And it's cool to see those knocked off. Long term, my news guy at work says, he's like, man, you're not going to be here more than 5 years. Like, because they know what I do. And so they're like,
right,
you're going to leave in 5 years. Like, there's no way you're still going to be doing this. And, of course I say, oh no, but I mean, that's a possibility.
Right.
Like, because you have to look at, I'm pushing right now because everything is done so well. We're almost at 19,000 for our 90-day number on the app right now.
Yeah.
You have to look at that and go, well, geez, if I'm doing this part-time now, I say part-time, I'm probably pushing full-time hours.
Yeah. Every part-timer is. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I'm definitely putting hours into it, but if that was all I had to do, and I could go to the thrift store a couple times a day, or I could go to those estate sales early with what I've learned, and if I could essentially double my available time, yeah, I mean, I could see this working. Right now, I want to do that because it's working to have the two incomes, right? And I want to have health insurance. I want to have
100%
comfort of knowing that check is going to be the same amount every 2 weeks.
Right.
I like that. My wife likes that. But I could see this becoming like a full-time thing. I tell my wife, we could get to the point where we get an RV and we randomly just travel. I'm not going to live in one, but let's go traveling for a month and source and pick up stuff. And I'd be okay with that.
And there's so many factors too. Yakov and I say this to Yakov all the time because where I live in Virginia, and Yakov's like, yeah, but you don't have the cost of living in New York. So I think geography is a huge one. Whether you can go full time or, for me, and that's why I like to ask that question. I love seeing people's thought process, and you said a good one. You're seeing what the potential could be,
right?
And what I do with my occupation, I don't want to leave it. I don't feel like it's even my season to. So the game plan that I started having, and I was like, could I start developing people I could trust now that I can pay 20 hours a week to go either do all the listing or go buy an estate sale or to go to where I'm not putting in more hours per se for myself, but now I can gain profit, gain listing, gain inventory without maximizing more hours for myself. And it's like this crazy concept that I thought of is, could we grow this business at a part-time scale from myself, but actually involve more part-time people and just see it awesome to where I'm not losing the benefits of having the full-time job,
Yeah.
So it's like, I see so many different templates for people. Harry Tornado talks about all the time his cost of living in South Carolina. It's so easy for him to go full-time. It's so easy. He's just like, I don't have to make a ton.
He also doesn't have a family to say that he has to really support at this point. Yes, he has his wife and dog and so on. That is a family. Exactly. But he doesn't have the kids. He doesn't have those expenses to say, okay, that also takes a toll. So,
Oh, definitely. I mean, well, let's not use him. I was like, Froggy Flips, Anthony, 2 kids, a wife. Guess what? Full-time reseller.
yeah, he had medical bills. I don't know how the guy does
Yeah,
it.
right. That's what I'm saying. There's cool. I think, but the method to the madness is it's also you could not be making a ton of money, which all the gentlemen in this chat are doing really good. You're paying off debt, you're tackling that. But there are a lot of people that don't make a lot and they live way beyond their means.
Right.
And they'll never be able to like
that debt. Like, I mean, if we were in a spot where I didn't have the medical bills and the student loans, I mean, you could almost go full time right there because all you're paying for your daily cost of living, even with a daughter, even with a dog and a couple fish, right? Like, I mean, I think you could still make it work if you didn't have that debt. Because I think
the debt is big. Yes.
Debt is huge. I mean, nobody has any savings and everybody has debt. Yeah. So if you can use this to get yourself out of that hole, then this becomes the fun money. This becomes like part-time pickers. eBay funds his vacations.
Yeah, he's like, I want to send my kids to college and I want to go on one cool trip every year.
And you can absolutely do that. I mean, the capability is there.
It's there. It's so risky.
You got it. I mean, you got to put in the work, though. I mean, it's not necessarily easy.
Oh, yeah.
It's not hard to do, but it's not easy. There has to be a commitment there if you want to make it work.
No, you got to do your research. You got to know. You got to watch you got to watch other people to understand it. Then you got to list. Then you got to source. You got to find the time. It's never ending. But you know what? All said and done, it's worth it. Whether it's worth it because you're making a good amount in the end and you have the time to spend to do it, or you're doing it for the fun of it. To me, to be very honest, it is a hobby. Do I need the money now? Obviously, everybody needs the money and so on.
Right.
But my full time is right now supporting and so on. The cost of living here, has a ton to do with it, especially that I'm Jewish and especially that I have all those other expenses. But I'm in the fun zone right now.
Right.
Well, and that's what I mean. I enjoy it. Now, I don't. There are days where I'm like, man, I was telling Josh, I told my wife tonight, and now I've sold something else. I mean, it's a bad thing to complain about. Man, I keep selling too much stuff, but like I told my wife, I'm like, I feel like I'm going to be packing for the next 3 months. The way this is already ramping up, it's going to be a crazy fourth quarter. So it does wear a little bit when you come home and you're like, I've already put in my 8 hours by lunchtime.
Yeah.
And I come home and literally I start packing. Like I come home and I eat and I let the dog out and then I start packing. And I might be packing for an hour, hour and a half, and then it's okay, go get my daughter from school. By the time I get home, now all of a sudden, all right, what's for dinner? And your day's gone and you haven't done anything but work and pack eBay orders.
So you'll understand why Yaakov and I love doing the show together. Because I think the only days we don't talk are the days when you can't talk. So we don't talk Friday night and Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
But
Saturday night I get a call.
But Yaakov and I, because Yaakov, he and I get to bounce perspective off so much. You hit it right on the head, Troy. He'll go through and he goes, I only had 2 things to sell. And I go, well, cool, Yaakov, go list. Because guess what? I had to pack 13 things and it took me, I don't start until like 9:30, 10 p.m.
Yeah.
I'm going till 1 a.m. packing orders. And guess what? I get 0 listing because I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it's not to say it in a venting way, but it's almost going, dude, grind it out while you can. Why? I moved my shipping to every other day now. Only because I could, Tuesday night, I don't want to pack. I want to make sure I have, time for the show. But I'm also making sure that on, I think, tomorrow night, I can list. I can focus on listing. I don't have to pull orders. I can, it's just. Yeah.
And I may do that. Right now, I do one day. And I started one day when I started just because when you're new, you need that any kind of edge you can get. And saying, I will get it to you in one day. That's one way you can beat other people.
Right.
You're stuck, So, I mean, I may at some point change it to 2 day just to give myself a little bit of a breather. But, it is nice that my post office is open till 6. So if I don't want to pack today, I can pack tomorrow, assuming, I don't get overrun with orders.
Right.
I
think you got to manage it to what is going to work best for you. But Greg hit it really good. He was like, yeah, it's a great reminder. It's important not to compare yourself to other people. You might just be as smart as them, but guess what? They have no overhead. They don't have bills. They don't, part of what I was saying about Kaiser, he's like, no, my life's pretty good. I've paid for my car. I live at home with my parents. Like, they're helping me to save money to buy a house, so I can make better decisions than a lot of other people.
Right.
His situation is totally different.
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, it's just, I'm glad he's 21 and smart and not going like, sweet, I don't have bills, I just went and bought a Lamborghini, I mean, he totally could. That'd still be sweet. I mean, you talk about clickbait video. Right. I'm like, yay, he just got 500,000 subscribers.
All right.
eBay just bought my Lambo. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, anybody can, I mean, we said it before, but anybody can do this if they take the time and if they learn. And that can, I mean, if you want to do this to buy a car, you can do that.
Do it and buy a car.
We had to get a new car because
Tesla Picker was aiming at it.
I had to get a new car. My wife's driving it, and the payment is coming out of eBay every month. We're paying for our new car with eBay sales. Before it would have been like, man, we need a new car. How are we going to make this work? And now it's like, well, yeah, we can do that with the eBay sales that are coming in. It cuts off on that debt snowball a little bit, but we're okay still. So, I mean, eBay is like, I mean, it sounds ridiculous, but eBay's changed our lives.
Oh yeah. We since we started in February, like I said, my wife got on board probably about, I think the first time that I dropped $1,000 straight profit into the bank account. And then she went, what's this? And I says, we're going to go away for the weekend. And she was like, huh? And I was like, yep. And then we did in August, we went to if you're safe through the quarantine and you wear your masks, we got hooked up on great flights. We went down to Tampa. We sourced in Tampa. We stayed down there a whole week on the beach. All 100% paid for by eBay. Every meal we ate, the car we rented, the condo we stayed in, that was a goal. The goal was to go on a super nice vacation, to get away and have it not affect our personal accounts.
And did you go and source while you were there? Did you go and go to like a thrift store?
Oh yeah, I went to a ton.
Troy, you don't cross post, correct?
Say again?
You don't cross post, correct?
No, I did for a while. I had Poshmark going for a while. Poshmark I started right away. I actually opened that before I opened eBay, like just by a couple of days. Okay. Right. And then Mercari, I also did. I tried Etsy, but then I got to the point where it was like something like I would get a notification that I had a liker on an item, and I'm like, oh yeah, I sold that like 2 weeks ago. Like I was, because I'm doing it part-time and there's so much stuff, I would forget like when one thing sold on one platform to take it off of the other. And then I was like, at some point I'm going to sell something that's already been sold.
How many listings do you have?
Right now I have in the neighborhood of 860, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to I'm hoping to have 1,000 at some point. Honestly, I'm a little bit more comfortable around 700. Just like I in some ways, I'd rather sell less just so that I don't have to pack it all.
You'd rather have better items, not a maxed out store.
Yeah. So I'd my kind of happy place is right about 700, 750, but I know this fourth quarter is going to be ridiculous. So I've been pushing pretty hard to just list all sorts of stuff.
But you are on the international platforms, which I'm trying to figure out if I should be jumping into it or not. But it seems from what you said, from your whole interview over there, it seems so simple that I should just do it. Like, I don't even know why I'm not doing it.
It's super easy. Like, and if you don't want to do like the web interpret thing, which is a totally separate, right? Like I was talking on Facebook today with somebody that was asking about international. eBay's got, it's not new. It's I think at least a couple months old. It's standard international delivery, I think is what it's called, or standard international. It's a couple months old. I would suggest doing that.
Yeah, but I do that. But that's all that is just another global shipping program, from what I'm understanding. Well,
yes and no. Like it's better than global shipping, and the reason it's better than global shipping is global shipping. the biggest cost on global shipping is they charge the fees up front to the customer.
Mm-hmm.
So like the taxes and the import fees and all that. And they charge, from what I understand, an average because they don't have time. It's such a massive operation.
Yeah.
They don't have time to figure out what each individual item is. So it's figured out on an average. So everybody gets charged basically the same thing. That's fine. If you're buying a $900 stereo, you're getting a good deal because you're paying that average. But if you're trying to buy a $20 t-shirt, all of a sudden you're getting charged these fees. Global shipping just flat across the board. Global shipping also sends everything priority. When you can send internationally, you can send first class up to 4 pounds. So it's way cheaper, but they send it all priority. So customers are paying for priority if they don't need to, and they're paying for import fees. There's a lot of countries, like in Europe, most countries, I think it's like 70 euros or 75 euros. If the item is underneath that point, they don't have to pay import fees. Like there are none. They just go to the post office, they pick it up, they go home. Well, global shipping is charging them those fees. Their country will never charge them.
So I had one shipment that went out standard international. I made a video. I have to put it out. It still went priority. It still went to the same place in Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
The difference was it was charged 20. He was charged, the person who got it was charged $22, and I had to pay and I got the $22, and I had to pay the $22, and it was charged to my eBay account after he received it.
That's eBay. That's the international standard. And the reason it's cheaper is because those guys, global shipping is they pay the duties on the front end when they make the purchase.
Yeah.
The eBay international, the standard international, it's still going to Kentucky. It still goes to a warehouse in Kentucky. But they don't pay the import fees and the duties and the taxes. They don't pay those on the front end. Now they might have to pay them on the back end when it shows up in their country. They'll get a notification from the post office saying, hey, your parcel's here. You owe us, fill in the blank if you want to pick it up. But for a lot of them, if it's going up to Canada, they don't have to pay. If it's like a $10 or $20 item, they don't have to pay anything. So they'll just get the notification saying, hey, your thing's here. So it's way cheaper than global shipping for those people that don't have to. So you might sell a high-end collectible through global shipping, but you're never going to sell a $20 video game. It's just never going to happen because they're not going to pay for it. But the international standard, I sell a lot of video games to Canada now in the last couple months using that because they're not paying anything extra.
Now, I've had a lot of success. I came across a huge lot of some pretty rare video games. They were Japanese model like Sega Genesis games.
Cool.
And when this first happened, now I did figure out a lot of folks like that, they will work with companies that do a carbon copy of what global shipping is, but in their favor. Because I noticed I had 5 different buyers and I was sending them all to California, where then they were getting transferred over to Japan, China.
A freight forwarding company.
Uh-huh.
They have them in Oregon as well. There's some in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'd seen a few of those come through where somebody was just like, hey, no problem. It's going to this address here. And I, when you think, because then you're like, alert, drop shipping.
Right.
But you find out, you see in the heading of the title of the address, that's all it is. It's a freight forwarding company.
Yeah. My very first sale on eBay was a freight forwarding company. The very first sale, January of 2019, I picked up these Rod Laver Adidas tennis shoes, bright red, really, really cool shoes. I think they sold for like $75 or something.
But yeah,
but it went to a freight forwarding company in I think California, because a lot of those, because global shipping doesn't work with every country. So people like China, I think, and there's a couple countries that it doesn't work with, so they go through the freight forwarding company instead.
I have a vintage lantern, and you know how bad I wanted to like make it work, but there were 2 sketchy things. But I have a vintage lantern up there for 125, and I got a message. It'd been up 24 hours, and somebody said, will you ship it to Thailand? Well, my other red flag was, because it's not in GSP program. Thailand's not one of the countries, so that's why they're asking.
So where would it be a part of you? How would you ship it in the end?
Well, I didn't even go that far because I clicked on the person. They have 0 feedback.
Okay, but if
know
you
the
were
thing.
to go that far, to ship it to Thailand, what would you choose to do? I would Standard International probably doesn't give you that option either.
Right.
You would
So you'd ship it direct through pirate ship simple export rate.
Yep.
You can ship up to 4 pounds first class. Oh, well, you can ship after that, but then it gets expensive because it's priority. Up to 4 pounds is like 25, 29 bucks, I think, or something. It's actually really affordable. I use that quite a bit. I shipped out the Scream Mask today with pirate ship to the UK for $15.95, I think is what I paid for shipping. They integrate with eBay, and they're a partner with eBay. They have door-to-door tracking. I've shipped to Thailand. I've shipped a fair number of old SLR cameras and like lenses and stuff like that. I've shipped several people in Thailand.
Wow.
You get a lot of international interest on the old film cameras, actually, like the lenses and stuff.
My second reason why I didn't ship it, Yakov, is because in 24 hours it had 489 views and 4 watchers. So I wasn't worried about trying to figure out a way to get it there. I was like, it's gonna sell. It might sit there a week, but
it's like a mask that's sitting there right now. It's probably gonna sell. The question is how much it's gonna sell for.
Yeah.
I think Dory asked me I should do a live end of auction.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what Joey did last night with his hat.
Oh, how much did you get for it in the end?
Troy, what'd you buy it for?
Well, he
bought it.
Yeah.
Roy, stop buying everything.
He had something messed up with the shipping because I didn't even look at the shipping, and I'm like, it's cowboy hat. It can't be that bad. And I bought it. Congratulations, you won. And it said shipping was like $69.
Your face in the live, man. You held it together so good. But Joe, Joey's personality. Joey goes, Troy, bro, dude, you didn't have to do that. And Troy's like, yeah. Whoa, shipping's a little high.
It was like $65, $69 or something. I'm like,
and how much you pay for the hat?
Like $21.50, I think.
Yeah, it didn't go much.
So I paid him after the show. Like I paid it, and then that's when it came in, and he saw it, and he was like, "Whoa, how much was that?" And I think what he did is when you list something and you like double tap the number, like so instead of 2 pounds 8 ounces, it might say it's 22 pounds 8 ounces.
And he did say he was trying to get it in probably like a 15-inch box because he didn't want to damage the size.
Yeah, it might be oversized a little, but it still shouldn't be that much.
No.
So he was like, "Oh yeah, I'll put some money in the box or something for you, man." Like, so I think he's gonna. Because my wife was like, "Did you just give Joey like $89 for a hat?" She's like, and I'm like, "Well, yeah, but he's gonna get some of it back. Like, I'm not worried about it."
Yeah.
And that's probably. I told him, I said, "Dude, that's probably why it didn't go for as high because your shipping was somehow screwed up."
Right.
And so the people that were paying attention and looking at shipping were like, "Oh, I'm not going to pay $50 for shipping."
Well, that's the fear on my mask. I wrote T-shirt on in the title, so I fear that people like really. But I mean, I made it clear in the description that it's not the T-shirt model; it is the polyester 2nd gen, and I mean, as you said, they know what they're buying. They know what they're looking for.
Yeah, they know what they're looking at.
Hey, to answer the chat, no, I'm not saying I'm not going to sell to people. I've definitely sold good stuff to zero feedback.
I have to.
But just bigger disclaimers is foreign wanting to go through different routes with zero feedback. Guys, I'm only speaking from experience. I've said yes to some things, and guess what? They didn't pay, and they'd message me and say, "Just in 2 more weeks, I'll send you the money."
Hey.
And then it's 2.5 months later. Because I've learned something else. You know who else makes fake accounts? People that have that same item that want theirs to sell, and you're at a competitive price point on an item. They'll buy yours, not pay you, and sell theirs in the meantime. Because your listing is down.
So that's my.
I've had that happen as well.
With the mask, believe it or not, that's my biggest fear. That somebody's gonna jump on it and take me down, and then go and list theirs.
Right. Well, before we wrap up,
is you're at an auction. So you can do a second, like if they don't pay, that whoever wins doesn't pay, you can like give it a couple days, and if they don't pay, you have an option on there. It says like second chance option or whatever. So
Right, that's offer.
basically is the number 2 and say, hey, this guy's not paying. If you want it, you can pay your price, whatever that second highest price is.
I'll send an Instagram message to Troy. Hey, Troy, the guy didn't pay. Do you want it?
Man, if it stays low, I'm going to buy it and flip that thing, Jakob.
Right.
I make my money. I'm good.
That's what I'm doing, Jakob. I'm going to leave bad reviews on there and be like, this listing says t-shirt. It's not even a shirt, guys. Jakob, give it to me for $99. Yeah. Now, so Troy, because you do have that legendary voice that everybody does compliment you on, going to make it easy for you. I'm going to show you 2 items. Okay. You can ask me whatever questions on items you want, but you have to do the 15-second ad placement in the car that makes me do like Yaakov and open my app to buy it and crash my car.
My screen.
Because I'm not paying attention. This first one's an easy one. We have the older original model mousetrap.
All right.
So this is the one where you have to like spin and actually build it as you play. So the
who's ever played? I have never even played that.
It's like, I don't want to do this ad.
well, it's super. Like you could just go by face value of it. What does it look like?
And I usually, people don't realize it's Ron Burgundy. I've got the script right there, right? Like, he'll read anything. Like, I write out everything in the morning. People think, no, like I'm reading everything. Okay, so you want me just to sell that thing in 15 seconds?
15 seconds. We're listening in on the car radio, so we don't even see the item. You're just telling us on it in 15 seconds.
That's the original vintage piece, or is just the original game?
Just the original game, not the original piece, because they've remade it like 4 times.
Right. All right. How much are you selling it for?
I'm really parting that one out because I was missing like one piece. $24.99. That'll be a good price.
That's gonna make selling it for me a lot harder.
Well, you don't have to mention it
out, people.
You don't have to mention that it's parted out. I'm just giving you a good price of $24.99.
Oh, okay. All right. Look, I'll put up my timer here. I want to do it right for you, Josh.
Nice.
All right. I'm just going to make this up as we go, and we'll see how it turns out.
That's the best way.
Yeah. You played it when you were a kid. Now your kids can play it with you. It's the original Mousetrap. We're not sure if all the pieces are there, but it's a great price. $24.99. Buy it at Josh's store. There you go.
Boom. Wow. I just put it in the chat. Sold. I'm in. Yaakov has just driven into the meeting.
I am so listening to you tomorrow morning. I'm gonna have you on my drive there, and then I'll listen to your.
I was short.
And I'm gonna comment on everything.
No, that was still good. All right, I got one more fun one for you. We have a ZZ Top.
Oh, what?
Wow.
1994 tour. Front, back, full graphic.
Wow.
This was the Antenna tour. Yeah. Or Tone, Taste, and Tenacity.
Wow.
Single stitch tee.
Single stitch ZZ Top tee from 94.
It's a 2XL, so fits now like a XL.
And you're giving me a lot of information for 15 seconds.
Well, you get to pick and choose.
What?
Huh?
You want to give him 30 seconds?
Yeah.
30. I mean, now, well, I was happy with the
30. Now you got to find out more information.
Go with it however you want to, because I love the first one, man.
What's your value?
That one's gonna go $59.99.
Oh, that's a steal. All right. Let's see. All right. You went to the concert, but you cannot remember that night. But it's okay. You can remember it now. It's a 2X. No, that's a terrible commercial, Josh. Okay, let's start over.
He was like, no, I love the intro though. The intro was great.
It's
You
hard.
don't remember it, but the T-shirt will. Yeah.
You went to the concert. You can't remember it, but you can now with this T-shirt. It's only $59.99. It's a 2X. It's going to fit like an XL, but that's okay. Go to Josh's store, pick it up, single stitch, made in the USA. Pick it up today. I don't
There
know.
you go.
Josh, I need to script this out. It's bad.
No, you're good. So for what I do in my full-time job, I have to get online and oh my gosh, we do 10 minutes of game show, Q&A. It's fun. It's a ton of fun. No, but I loved where your brain was going. I think the only thing, yes, that I would have scripted in there, but like, it's a 2XL.
Right.
Now it fits like an XL. Like you used to wear an XL, but you wear a 2XL.
Yeah, that's where my brain started to go, and then I lost it.
No, dude, but I love where you can actually put the correct emphasis. Like you've learned that. That's a skill. That's a craft. I work on some of that stuff that I have to in delivery and placement and putting the emphasis in the correct location. Like, no, you do that so well, man. And
you can like every once in a while, like that's one I would probably work in the baseball growl. If like I was a backup PA announcer for a minor league baseball team here in town.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually got paychecks from Major League Baseball, which was cool.
Nice.
Like officially, that's where it came from. But when you do the PA, there's like when you announce it, there's like this little like guttural growl every once in a while when you say the last names.
Yes.
Your throat hurts by the end of the night. It's bad, but you can kind of work it into a commercial like that. You go ZZ Top and work in that little bit of like. I'd probably work it in there.
Did you like go to school for like training your voice or anything, or?
Well, I mean, officially, I have a broadcast journalism degree. So I got the broadcast journalism degree and then went into newspaper. Go figure. But I just kind of I do it by ear, I guess. I hear people. I know what I think sounds good.
Yeah.
And you know, I've done so many different things. I record some commercials. I do interviews. You know, I've done some play-by-play, and it all sounds a little bit different. So my daughter gives me a hard time when I talk on the phone because apparently it sounds different when I talk on the phone.
Yep.
Or when the YouTube, it's all a little bit different. And so she says that, you know, she gives me a hard time that I'm using that voice again. Oh. I don't know. It just happens. Like when the mic at work comes in front of me, I don't think about it. I sound different.
It turns on.
Yeah.
No, that's so good, man. And your art of the craft, it shows in your intros, man. It really does. You have good intentionality on making those like hook you. Love your bumper, by the way. Love that skyline. That's always beautiful to see, man.
Emily Conway made that for me.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
She also made cats, I think. I think she also made cats.
Yeah, she did cats as well.
Yeah.
I gotta hit her up. That's it. Emily's my next hit.
Do it. Like, yeah, I
don't even know what I could come up with though.
Jakob, just show the car accident just over and over, or the car fire.
The car fire. That was a sick car fire, guys. Come on.
Jakob, if you do voiceover over that little scene and be like, have your sales look like this? Then search no more. Jakob Benz selling VHS tapes for 99 cents.
They sell.
I think you could use it, you know, from car fire to cash register, you know, the cash register and the noise.
Or just passing guys
down. Like a little bit like this. And then you go,
check out these what sold. Put that fire out.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be so good.
Too much editing for me.
Well, I won't keep you up too late, man, because I know
you have to be up at
early morning. 2 last questions for you that we do love to ask all of our guests.
You love to ask everybody all these questions.
No, I do, man. I love honoring our guests. I love asking stuff that pertains to them, and it brings more awareness to them as a person, not just as a reseller. I really love doing that. But for you, Troy, what is one YouTube channel that's non-reseller related that you like to sit down and just listen to? Just bend an ear to.
Sorry, okay. Now I'm the high bidder again. Yaka.
Are you kidding?
He's got to make sure.
Here it's
A high. All right, I'm good now. I got it.
You're good.
Okay.
So what's a YouTube channel that's non-reseller related that is a good influence on you, or maybe in your downtime to like unwind? What's one of those YouTube channels that you just like? It's a go-to.
You know what? Like, I actually like. I've been in like music my whole life. Like, I grew up singing. I got a vocal scholarship to college. I've always been involved in music, and so I kind of like every once in a while. You can't watch resellers all the time. Like,
right.
You take a break. And so every once in a while, like, I'll sneak in. I've recently discovered her name is Ali Sherlock. I think she's Irish. And she's like 16 years old, and she's got a voice that is really, really unique. And she's like a busker. Like, she stands there in Dublin and just sings downtown.
Wow.
And she does all these covers and stuff. And she's got like, I mean, her videos go up and they're up for 5 minutes and she's got 1 million views. Like, it's ridiculous.
That's awesome.
But her voice is amazing. So every once in a while, I'll just swing over and be like, listen to a 3-minute video. It's kind of cool because she'll do other videos with other buskers, that have different voices, or they're playing guitar, or they're playing. So it's kind of a cool break or that. And I've also discovered, I think they started during the lockdown, Matt and Savannah Shaw. It's a dad and a daughter. And they sound like they should be on a Disney movie soundtrack. Like, it's
I've seen some of those, like, even shared through Facebook and stuff. Yeah.
Like, they exploded over the lockdown because the dad, I think the dad was a professional singer at some point, and then it was like, did the whole like, well, I had a family and I moved on with life. And no, this guy is like a Broadway level quality singer.
Yeah.
And apparently his daughter is very good too. I think they have an album out now or something, or it's coming out, or I don't know. I just wandered across them on YouTube, and they'll just put like, it's just them sitting in front of the thing, like in front of a piano in front, and they just sing for 3 minutes. And it's just a nice little, like, it's just a break and a little bit of a light, and you can listen to a song and think, all right, now I can go on with my day. It's cheesy, but I kind of like doing that and going to listen to a song every once in a while.
No, it's so good. I think it's healthy. You hit it right on the head, man. Nobody can. Yes, I almost schedule my time to get like information, reseller information. I do. But dude, there's sometimes when even during listing, I love the lives during listing. I really do. They inspire me. But then I also want to laugh, and I just watch some of the like funny challenge channels and stuff because it helps my brain kind of turn off and just work and get in the task mode. So no, that's super good, man.
Well, and it keeps you from burnout, I think.
It does.
Like, you can only do one thing for so long, even if you love it, before you're like, man, I do not want to do that.
Yeah.
Right now. So if you take a break, it just keeps it fresh. Today I watched 2 episodes of some barbecue cooking show on Netflix.
Oh, dude, I crushed that thing, man. It was so good.
I just randomly discovered, I was like, I don't want to watch a YouTube video right now. I can't watch. Let me see. And I saw that, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch that for a couple episodes.
Dude, it was really good. It was a good show. Made me hungry. But last question, and then I do want to open it up if you have any questions, or if anybody has any questions in the chat as well. But I do like to ask. So this just kind of shows your heart or your thought process. If you could put one thing in every shipment that goes out that would just help to make the world a better place, so that person gets that package and it doesn't have to be representative of you or anything, but can just help their day get better, help them make somebody else's day better, what could you box up physically, metaphorically, idealistically, whatever? What could you put in every single package that went out that would just make the world a better place?
You know what I did for a long time, and I need to get more because I ran out, and then the company that I was getting from online, I guess they ran out. And it's very, very little, but I put I think they originally designed them for like probably wedding invitations or thank you cards or something. It was just a little circle sticker with a heart on it that said thank you. I mean, dated, super basic, but I would slap that on the inside, like on the bubble wrap of things or whatever. And I don't know, like I initially started doing it thinking maybe this will help with feedback.
Right.
I don't know if that ever did, but I just added a personal touch of, this wasn't a machine that put this in the box. This was a person.
Yeah.
And I'm not putting the card in that says, hey, I want you to enjoy your thing. Please give me good feedback. that feels like needy and clingy to me.
You want to be genuine.
Yeah, so I put thousands and thousands of thank you stickers. Just a basic simple sticker. I don't know. I think it shows like, hey, a real person put this in the box, and
It's good.
thank you for supporting, what I'm doing. I think that's kind of cool.
No, I like that. I like that answer. I do. No, that's really good. Do you have, I'm going to open it up for the chat real quick. And once again, please, guys, go subscribe. Hit it up in the description right there. If any of my mods, you can just copy and paste it from the description. It's really close. But please go check out Troy's channel. Always putting out good content, giving you different perspective on another place in the U.S. where you can go find some incredible stuff. Thank you so much, Dory. But if you have any questions for Troy, please ask away. Troy, do you have any questions for Jake the Snake or myself that we could answer your quandary?
I'm wondering, Jake, if you're getting more comfortable in thrift stores, because I know you've texted a couple times and you're like, man, like I can't handle it. It's too much. It's overwhelming. You get in, you get out. I'm wondering if you've been in a few times now. Are you like?
So I am getting more comfortable. The most recent thrift store I've been to, believe it or not, was where I picked up the masks. And it was a thrift store that it was for-profit thrift store. It's not a thrift store that is collecting specifically for anything. So the prices over there are skyrocket. And I initially walked in with the mindset that I'm picking up nothing. And I knew that I'm just going to look around, and that was it. And I kept looking around. And I said, I need to come up with something. I mean, it can't be I walk into a store. This store was huge. All right.
Yeah.
Forget it. It was a warehouse from here to forget it. It was huge. I found things for $200-$300 that I'm like, what the heck are you charging? Shoes at retail price. And I got very overwhelmed. I got very frustrated. And I'm literally about to walk out when they are just sitting there and putting out Halloween things. So I just pass it by, and those 3 masks are just sitting there with a $5.99 price tag. And I'm like, I'm going to grab these and walk to the side. Now, you see it, to be in the Bronx, to be in the place where you don't see a Jewish guy walking around in a thrift store, it brings up eyes like, what the heck is this guy doing here? So I had the owner looking at me, and I had a whole bunch of other people like staring me down half the time, like, Jewish guy, Halloween masks in the Bronx.
Right.
Like, what the heck is going on here? So I literally walked to the side and I tried to hide and sit there and do research. And yeah, I was in the thrift store when I'm texting. I'm like, what the hell am I doing here? Am I picking this up? Not picking this up. It's $5, $15. So you know what? Screw it. Whatever it is, $15. I'm going to pick it up.
Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Yaakov, you've been brainwashed. When I have a snapshot in my mind of New York, you are the spitting image of picking up a Halloween mask as a Jewish man in a thrift store. That, like, the only other thing you could be doing is holding a pizza in the other hand. That's what I don't think you should be fearful. I think you should be hungry. And Troy, I was going to comment that question. I'm just going to let you know the secret of Yaakov. He has a Rolodex of all of us on Instagram. I've been shaky cammed. Josh, what are these shoes worth? Tell me right now. He does. He's so funny. Yaakov, go in there and just record on your cell phone going through a thrift store. It would just be so much fun.
I would watch.
I would too.
That's why I'm saying I just need like the camera. So I said what I'm going to do is I have a book bag and I have the clip. So I'm just going to put the clip like this and walk around in the thrift store.
I think you should do an Instagram live, walking around the thrift store.
Yep, thrifting live on Instagram.
Yeah, but then I don't get to put it in. How do you call it?
I think it'd be great.
Iris, in my video, thank you for watching the video when I said the dollar skeins of yarn were too expensive. Because, without getting into too crazy detail, a lot of them I sell for free shipping, and I'm only making, after shipping's paid, I'm only comping $3-4 unless it's discontinued. But that's because I'm getting them for under 10 cents each.
Iris,
so I don't mind.
He'll
It was
buy.
in my newest video. They had marked them $1 for each one. I was like, I get a laundry basket full of like 80 of them for $6. I'm totally invested at that purchase price. If I can make $4 to $5 on each one of those, yeah, I'm getting my money back. But to pick them up for $1 to sell for 3 or 4, that's just not. It's not worth it for me to do that individual listing like that. So
Those
just
bolts
me personally,
take forever. Like, because I just bought all those cars.
yeah.
And I think I've listed probably 50 of them, and it doesn't look like I've made a dent. Like, I'm looking at the pile, and I'm like, where did, like, there's
Have you
nothing.
sold many?
Hmm?
Have you sold many?
Yeah, I probably sold like 12 or 15 of them, I think.
Wow.
I think they'll sell more towards Christmas. I'm hoping, as like stocking stuffer type things. One of my viewers, Keith, keeps coming in and buying them. Keith from Minnesota. That guy.
Yeah, he was buying them last night, right?
Yeah, he bought 2 last night. Like, and I knew that was him when if it was just one, I'm like, oh, somebody found one. But then another one immediately sold.
Yeah.
He told me, like, when he was like, oh, I'm a collector. I'm going to be buying a lot of these. So he's coming in every other
day. Mountain Men treasure stuff.
Yeah, he's coming in every other day looking through my Hot Wheels, I think.
But, dude,
but it's
I'm right there with you, man.
Forever to list all of those. Like, but I mean, when I'm in 20 or 25 cents a piece, when I'm selling them, even some of them for $1.99,
yeah,
the profit margin is ridiculous. It's just going to take a while.
But and I'm right there with you, dude. My son is so fortunate. I bought a couple of cases of Hot Wheels cars. I put the lotted ones together by the same series and stuff.
Right.
And then I got to all these loose ones, and I was like, here you go, son. Congrats. You just got a bunch of Hot Wheels.
Oh, I'm going to get to that because I've done the same thing with like G.I. Joe. I bought last year, all the little accessories. And we made I bought a box of them for $5. I mean, we made hundreds of dollars off these things, but it takes time to like look them up, figure what they are, lot them together. And then when they sell, you've got to find the right one again. And you're only making $5 a piece, but it's all profit. But at some point I was like, man, I'm tired of being in the G.I. Joe store. Like, so I made a couple of lots basically for resellers. And I'm like, hey, here's a picture. This is all the stuff. And I still made a lot of money doing that, but I let somebody else part it out. I'll probably do that with these cars at some point and just start however many fit in a regional A box or something that's the lot.
Well, so far my game plan is working as planned for Q4. And I see yours is doing well as well. Troy, you're getting stuff sold. Stuff's really moving. I think the number one advice we can give to everybody, I saw Iris here. She said, Iris, it may be time for you, if you don't get a listing done, I would say before you go to bed, I would type in a subject matter and then click on what sold and what sold in the last 2 days. And then do your best to find one of those items. I used to do that when I was first starting out. Once I emptied inventory of stuff around my house, I went through and I was like, what do I see a bunch at Goodwill? I think belts and wallets. And I was like, men's wallets sold. And I was like, okay, what brands, what style, what color leather? Sweet. I'm going to go look for brown ones that have this kind of thread. And then I would just go, okay, sweet. I have a guaranteed seller. I'm going to go sell this. I'd say don't quit. Don't stress yourself out. There's been days that all of us haven't sold stuff. There are days that it freaks us out when it's dry, but at the same time, if you're sourcing the good stuff, if you're really putting stuff up there that already shows you some guaranteed sold, like sells, I wouldn't stress it.
Yeah. I mean, and check your prices, make sure that, because what might have been a great price point a month ago, the market might have changed. And now you're priced higher than everybody else. I mean, the market fluctuates. So if you're like, man, I know I've got a good product, go back in and check the price. Because sometimes the prices have changed and it's no longer worth as much as it was when you bought it. And you've got to adjust. So and see how you're comparing with others out there. Like in terms of like finding stuff that'll sell, sometimes it's find stuff that sells quick. Like good video games will move quick. Right now, Christmas stuff. I'm starting to sell my Christmas stuff right now. I've sold several Christmas decorations. Ornaments are starting to get watchers on them. I sold 2 stockings last week. I mean, Christmas is starting to go right now.
I picked up one of the best Christmas scores ever today.
Did you?
Oh, and I needed it, man. I was having source depression. I was striking out on I took today off. I had to pick my son up from after preschool. And I was like, cool, I'll hit up a few while he's in preschool. Nothing. And so even after I picked him up, I was like, hey, son, we're going to hit up 2 more stores because Dad hasn't found anything. And I finally ended up getting some good stuff. So, but no, man, Troy, thank you so much. Jake, as always, thanks for being the co-host with the most. I know you're tired as well, Jake. You've only been talking for the last 4 hours.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yep.
Troy, you just pulled one of these yesterday, so
yeah. I don't have
rocking and rolling.
We got nothing tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Sal. Hit that like button, and please, guys, go be supportive. Troy, I know monetization, that's a good thing you've been hitting, dude. There's a cool trick I do. Even when I watch your videos, I like to watch the first ad, then I go back and I open it again so I can watch another ad a second time.
That's awesome, man. Thanks. Yeah,
I want to shout out tomorrow. I'm going to be listening to your show.
All right. You listen on in, and I've got a premiere dropping tomorrow morning. If people want to see what sold over the last 2 days, not tonight because I had to cut off the video, but we've got a short. I don't know, it's 12 minutes or something. 11:15 a.m. That's when I usually do the premieres.
Yep. Eastern Standard.
Awesome. Well, hey everybody! Thanks everybody in the chat for hanging out. Be sure continue to change the world one sale at a time. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Have a great one.
See ya.